Hey, Pixie, I'm just waiting for David to enter. He's never done this before. So, how you doing? Well, now I got all twisted. It's so funny that people are like, your strap is twisted. No, it's not twisted. It's on correctly. That's the back. Here's the front. It's not twisted incorrectly. For all you people that think that I'm getting it wrong, it's not wrong. You're wrong. Because if this was out here, it'd be facing the right direction. Yes. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I know. I am twisted. Yes. Uh, all right. Hey, Dave, how you doing? How'd your stream go last night, bud? Sorry, I wasn't able to make it. Cool. Saturday treating you so far so good? Okay. Yeah, hey Steve, how you doing? Hey Tyler Steele, good morning to you. Is my guitar plugged in all? Yeah, Pixie, it's plugged in all the way. The sound is gonna be a little bit. Hey Yasmin, how are you? Yep, I'm doing a different kind of thing this morning. Yeah, it's exactly. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for being here and saying that. It's the collaborative thing. There's nothing I can do about it, Pixie. So don't tell me that the sound is off. I know it's off. Thank you. Yeah, voice audio is fine. That's what. Unfortunately, that's the way it has to be. Okay, thank you, Pixie. Yeah, I'm aware of it. Hey, Pixie. Yasmin's sort of new to the channel, so let's welcome her. Um, right. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, exactly. Uh, if my guest can't get it together, I will close this and come back for my normal cartoons and serial stream, Saturday morning stream. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Cool. Great. David, you're there. Awesome.
Yes, I am. How are you, Larry?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Sorry, there's a slight delay in terms of like action to reaction.
I don't see it on my end.
Oh, I'm seeing it on my end.
Okay.
But it's all right.
Okay.
I mean the conversation sounds normal. It's just that the picture's not keeping up with the audio.
Ah, okay. Well, the
The-
conversation is more important anyway, right? Than looking at me. So
exactly. But it's good to see you, my friend.
yeah, thanks for having me on, and good to be here as well.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's pleasure after all this time, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We just had some phone calls, long ago, and a lot of history in the pedal game and all of that from years back. So
Yeah, so actually that brings up a good point. Let's talk about how we met through Robert Keeley, right?
yeah, yeah,
I was at Soulcactus Sound was up and running,
yep.
and I started selling Robert stuff. The compressor was like flying out my door. Like I could
Hmm.
not get them in fast enough. And then I think Robert was like, "Hey, I got this other pedal I'm doing with this other guy." And it's like, I described it to me like I don't know, like this superior super range master kind of thing. And I was just like, okay, that sounds cool. Let
Yeah.
me know so when I finally saw it, I'm like, yeah, I'll carry that. That looks bitchin'.
Yeah, no, that was fun. That was my very first. I mean, gosh, we're going back 25
Time,
years.
yeah,
You
time
know, it's
machine boost.
Time Machine Boost, and maybe not the best name for a product, right? Because people think a time machine, they think about delays, but I was thinking about something cool like, hey, if we go back in the past with the range master kind of circuit and you have that channel and then you have a super modern kind of future channel, and then be able to switch between the both as kind of a boost, that would be sort of the time machine, so to speak. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, and that was I think you and I have talked about it. That was something I really just wanted for myself because I was playing old single channel Marshalls, and I was like, how to make those single channel Marshalls more versatile, right? And you normally are boosting them, but I wanted a couple different flavors of boost. So one could be a a hotter rhythm sound, and then the other one could be a good lead boost. So I think the range master kind of circuit modified um, was sort of thinking my lead boost because it has that nice mid range character when you kick it in that really lets it cut. So that was a great experience, and I'd say more so not even just the product, but just meeting people like meeting you, having the experience with Robert. Um, it's just been fantastic for the human connection of all
Right,
this.
right. When was the last time you talked to Robert?
Actually, not too long ago because a lot of people don't know this, but with my mods that I make, um, I was starting that in 2019, hand wiring them. But Robert actually and his team actually manufacture the circuit boards now that those are in kind of a full production. So I was chatting with him just last week about our forthcoming mod that's coming up, which is gonna be cool, and I'm not here just to kind of promote stuff, so we can
Oh,
we can
you're
we can wait on that, but, yeah, I'm in touch with them probably, a couple times a month. I know he's super busy, so I don't bug him too much, but, he's a great friend, and I'm glad that we have this partnership together, and he's able to manufacture the boards for me that are being used in the mods that I make.
That's very cool. That's very cool that you guys are still working together after all this time too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Robert's a very cool cat.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone more deserving of the success than you love to see when good people um find success in doing something from their passion, and he is very deserving of that. He's always been about great customer service, and just a really genuine amazing human being. So yeah, I mean, like a brother to me for sure.
That's cool. Did he ever tell you that he wound up with one of my guitars?
No, no, which one?
Uh, I put together. I had an Eric Clapton signature neck
Oh.
that I paired with a Sonic Blue strap body,
Uh-huh.
and it had like I don't remember what rig was in it. I'd have to look back at a photo of it,
Mhm.
but yeah, I wound up selling it after I was done with my Soulcactus band because I no longer needed it.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, years down the road, I'm talking to Robert one day and he's just like, I own a guitar of yours. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's just like, your Sonic Blue Clapton Strat. I'm like, that's not a real Eric Clapton signature guitar, right? It's just the neck.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm aware. He's just like, I'm like, so how'd you get it? He's just like, I bought it off the guy you sold it from, or you sold it
Mm.
to. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. He's like, I love the guitar though.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. It's one of the things that doing this business has afforded me to do, which has been really nice, is buying more gear and stuff, and um, because I love playing, but I love the instruments and I love amplifiers, and especially with amplifiers and my mods, I need to do research on these things. So it's pretty cool that you can actually buy equipment and then write it off as business use, right, an expense. Um, so that's been kind of fun. I imagine Robert's kind of done the same with some of his purchases, but
I'm
it's
sure.
yeah, the amp collection has gotten a little bit insane, but but I've learned a lot as far as what works with the mods and what doesn't, and different guitars and things to optimize the circuits and things like that. So it's been a fun ride.
So, okay, that brings me to another question. When you are working on your next mod
Yep.
for a Marshall amp, let's just say, do you have specific, like, you have an amp that you're going to in the house to design this new product around, and you're using a specific guitar to help you dial that in? What are they?
Um, it's so when I first started this thing, it's actually before 2019, right? When 2019 is when they were um, first announced and available, but I was working on it for a few years prior to that, off and on, right? I've got a day job and keep me
Right.
busy. Um, but the home base amp for me was the Marshall single channel master volume, right? The 2203, 2204, and those master volume amps, those have been home for me since I was a kid or since I was a teenager, right? Playing those amps. So if I look back here, those are two JCM 800 versions. One is a reissue, the other one's a 1981 original.
Oh, that's great.
And those are the go-to amps. And I was going for a circuit design that would be the same sound of the amp, not to retain, make sure to retain the character of the amp, but get more distortion, more gain, and have it very natural. Um, so I didn't want to have too much coloration with it, right? But so the original Hot Mod had no controls on it; was just plug in and go. Um, and I'm talking about the Soldano version of the Hot Mod back in the 80s, right? Plug in and go, that single tube. My version, the V2, um, kind of took a lot of that influence, made some changes to the circuit, was actually working with Michael Soldano on it because originally it was going to be a Soldano branded product. Um, but there's a story
Wow.
behind that of why it isn't. Um,
Okay.
but really do the Soldano hot mod, but make it work with modern day tubes, 12AX7s, 12AT7s, whatever, rather than the kind of the noisier original 6C to A10s and 6K11, which was kind of an oddball tube and actually started getting more expensive. Um,
Right.
so, and I'm seeing all the scrolling and I'm seeing all the hellos and hello to all of you too. This is kind of the first time I'm doing this, and so I'm not ignoring, but appreciate the hellos.
Oh yeah. The room's great. Pixie Knickers is my moderator, so big thanks to her for controlling the room.
Yeah.
And most of them are fairly regulars. Tom Patterson, Tyler Steele, Ninja. Thank you guys for being here. Um, Actually, there is Where's Guitar Guy ATX. I was on his channel last week as a guest, and
Okay.
we had a great conversation. Um, his name is Dave, too, and he lives out in Austin, Texas.
Oh, nice.
And he's got a great community on his YouTube channel.
Nice.
And we just talked about like worst gigs, that kind of thing, like breaking into scenes, like how long does it take, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So, you're like me in the sense that you've been on both sides of the stage. You've been in front and in back.
Hmm.
So, what do you like better?
It it really depends. Right now, as far as playing, um, I was doing cover band stuff the last 7 years, kind of doing dance music and very different from me coming up when I was, 19, 20 and
Sure.
being kind of a hard rock, 80s metal guy and doing original music. And, um, that was very satisfying back in the day because I was writing music, but getting the audience and the grind and trying to get people to come to your shows and all that, that was really tough. And um, you get your small group of friends that sometimes come out, but it's difficult. And it was still satisfying to be able to perform that music and do that. And I loved recording. Um, it was challenging, right? Because there's anxiety behind recording. When you're recording, you're sitting there and you got to get that performance. but the end product I really enjoyed. So I would say back in the day, I really liked the recording and the creative process of writing music. Maybe not so much the performance side, just because it was so difficult getting gigs and getting people there, and there was that pressure. The pay to play thing was a big thing. You're selling tickets. I just I didn't enjoy much of that. Fast forward to now, I've had my kids, and now I'm doing dance cover music. um, and actually I really started enjoying exploring that because it was musical styles, Nile Rodgers and Chic, all that stuff that I wasn't really into back then. I can kind of appreciate now and enjoy doing that kind of music, and more so when you're playing in front of an audience and an audience is dancing and responding. um, that was super super cool and a very different kind of energy. So um, I definitely enjoy that as far as having that kind of interaction with crowds, and people are having, it's their escapism, whether they're at a bar, club, they're having a good time, and you are helping, facilitating, being part of that. Um, has been really good. So, um, these days I'm not even really writing music. I'm doing I'm being creative in other ways, like the mod stuff, making
Right.
those. That's a kind of creative process which I love, and I really enjoy collaborating with other people. And more recent mod that's going to be coming out, I'm collaborating with Tim Caswell, who's very well known in music circles as the creator of the modified Marshall amp that was used in SIR, called Number 39, which is which was a rental company that was still around and rented a particular amp, most famously known for to be rented out to Slash and
Oh, okay.
also George Lynch of Dokken. Right, they rented Number 39 because they loved the tone of it, and that was designed by and done by Tim Caswell, who was working for the company at the time. So I collaborated with him. I've got a mod coming out in early December that I've kind of um, just teased a little bit, calling it the 1987 mod. Definitely more of an aggressive character
Oh,
to
that's
this little
cool.
plugin mod, and
Nice.
really harkens the 1980s kind of vibe and feel. And
That's great.
I don't have a version of it here to show yet. We're actually working on powder coating the cases, but here's the Mr. Scary mod. This is the George Lynch one, right? So this plugs into your Marshall or many other amps, adds another gain stage. You can hit the deep switch there for a little bit of low end boost, but then you also have a gain knob here, and it allows you to do how much more gain you want out of that stage, right? And that's kind of the
That's
idea with it. So
that's awesome. I was gonna say, do you have one of the mods? And there you
yeah.
go.
Yeah,
There
well,
you
the other
go.
thing I have here, because I know that you're, I don't know if you guys talk about Star Wars on here,
Yeah, we
but
do.
okay, because you got the poster behind you and all that. So I've
Yeah.
got some cool Star Wars stuff I'm going to share. Now, a lot of my stuff is, kind of packed away and all that, but I had got a good friend of mine who I'm going to share the story first on the Star Wars stuff.
That's
So
cool.
his his stepmom back in the day was involved with the Kenner Toy Company, and was actually gifted some of the first runs of toys. Um, Unfortunately, not the very first runs, like telescoping,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
The telescoping
uh,
lightsabers. Yeah.
lightsabers, but she did get some of the first 12. I think it was the first 12, whatever they, and so anyway, she got two boxes of these things, and one box was, given to um, her stepson, which is, my friend, who also is our operations manager for all the mod things. So he has the tie
Nice.
in too. But also she saved kind of a box for herself. So I've got this cool guy here.
I knew
So
it.
there,
Oh God,
yeah,
we have
the
a. I can't believe it.
so he didn't give this to me. So what I'm going to do, and maybe some of your people in your community might know this. I wanted to send this to the what is it, the AFA, and get it
Yeah.
kind of put in a case.
Uh
But
huh.
here's the thing: I've got two versions of the blaster, and I don't know which blaster I should be sending along when I send this in. So one
Oh
of the blasters has this little bubble thing on it, kind of a bump, and then the other one doesn't. I don't know if I could show. Probably can't
yeah.
see. So
No,
I
I
don't know
can't.
which one is going to be correct for this particular Jawa vinyl cape. So I haven't shipped it in because I need to kind of find that out. So if anyone
Um.
in the community knows
Hey,
which
Dave. I.
blaster
I
goes with
actually.
it.
I have
Mhm.
a couple. I have a couple books I can look at here in the house for you.
Okay. So let me know. And then as soon as I find that out, I'm going to send that in with the appropriate, um, because I also had a non vinyl cape Jawa that was in the box of stuff. And so I'm like, well, which is the right one? So,
Right.
um, but yeah, I've
That's
got this. It's really cool because I mean, some of these other figures in here aren't necessarily valuable per se, but they're like time capsules, like the early Luke, because they haven't been played with, and so it's like almost like you're looking at them like, oh yeah, that's how they
wow.
were. It's like all my stuff is played with hard. It's got wear. They're relic figures, but these guys are. I know there's two different versions of the Han Solo head. This is a small head.
I was gonna say that's small head.
So it looks a lot better than the other one. But I mean, even the cape, the cape on this guy, it's just brand new. Um, and of
Tuscan
course,
Raider.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tuscan Raider, and then of course got to have this guy here, um,
Awesome.
Darth Vader with the cape. So I got a bunch of those figures, but yeah, the vinyl cape Jawa. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there and share, and also
There's not a rocket firing Boba Fett prototype figure in that box, is there?
no, no, geez, that would be something. But I got to tell you, so I one of my greatest memories. My family, we grew up poor when I was really, really young. I'm 53 now. So Star Wars came out. I lived in Ohio when they were doing that, the Boba Fett thing where you send in 5 proofs of purchases
Yeah.
and you send it in and you
I
get
sent
that.
mine.
And
I sent mine in.
so I sent mine in and I still have that Boba Fett. And obviously none of them were rocket firing, right? Because there was that lawsuit with Battlestar Galactica toys
Right.
and someone swallowing and
Yeah.
passing away. Um, but that was super exciting to get that in the box. And the reason why I bring it up, like, we were kind of poor because prior to that, my mom had just gotten her first job in industrial design. And she was just then, now they had money to buy me action figures. And I remember like begging and hoping I could get Star Wars figures. And it was right around that time where they were finally able to buy me stuff. And so, I mean, my very first, when they got me a stormtrooper, that was my very first figure.
I was gonna
It was
ask you.
it was just like I couldn't believe it. I was so excited and it was just
Yeah.
so like I couldn't believe it. I was almost in tears over being able to have this action figure. And then
I know.
after that I had a few more and got my Darth Vader and all that. But being able to have those 5, I think it was 5. Was it 5 that you had to 5 proofs of purchases to turn
Yes.
in? So
Yes.
cutting those little circles, putting that in the mail, and then getting the box for that
Yeah, the
Boba
little
Fett
white
was
mailer
just,
box.
yeah, it was amazing and an incredible thing, and I have fond memories of all that. It was great. So the one thing I wanted to add is I still have all my figures, hardcore played, and and so we did a thing. What was it? My mom told me that she had always thought like, oh, I always thought when I bought these figures that I should buy an extra and kind of keep it packed away. And but she didn't do that. But had she, it would have been pretty cool to have these things like have a version that were still um, you know,
Yeah, they would.
unplayed and untouched
Yeah, they
versus
would have been
my
worth
my relict
thousands.
versions.
Yeah, there were parents that actually did that. In fact, there was uh, a couple here in Scottsdale that had they bought their kids Star Wars figures, but they actually bought like an additional two separate sets of like the first
Yeah.
12, and they
Yep.
had them just all brand new, untouched, pristine in their packages, whatever. It was on an episode of The Toy Hunter. I don't know
Yeah.
if you ever caught that dude, his show.
Yes. Yeah. No, that was
Uh,
fun to watch for sure.
yeah, Jordan Hembrough. Anyways, he found this couple in Scottsdale, Arizona, and they had like two full sets of the first 12. And they got down to the haggling over it, and he was just like, how much money do you want? And she's just like, well, I've done some research. And he was just like, he looked at his buddy, he's just like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
She knows. And I'm like, yeah, she does, and she's gonna get every penny out of you, buddy.
Absolutely. I mean that's the nice thing about the internet, right? Is you can research all of that stuff and kind of see what things are worth and what things have sold for, and but also, getting back to some of the music stuff, also very helpful as a small manufacturer of products, getting
Right.
feedback from customers and from people out on the internet and on on forums and groups. Let me tell you, we listen. Um, so my first hot mod, it was originally very much tuned like, well, hot mod V2. It was very
Right.
much tuned like an original hot mod, just with the tube conversion and a few little tweaks. Um, but I got feedback from a few folks that and just online of like, oh, I wish they had a version where I can, switch and have a couple different gain settings, or oh, this one sounds good, but it's like too bass heavy, and so I've had lots and lots of circuit revisions based on kind of overall feedback, because it's like I want a certain thing and I like what I hear, but
Right.
there's a myriad of other, people out there that have great feedback and input. And so that's where, the switching came in for the options, because it's like I still want some more low end, but some people might want to cut that um,
Right.
and gain and so on. Um, so internet's been great.
So how'd the scary mod come into play, like working with George and doing his own version, his signature version of it? How'd that all
Yeah, that well, George has been a longtime friend of mine since before Keeley times, right? I was working at a hard drive company called Seagate, and they're still around, but they do solid
Yeah.
state drives too. But it was really cool for me because I would get phone calls from folks, producers, artists, people doing movies that all wanted hard drives because that was what they were storing all their stuff on.
Right.
Um, and so George was one of those guys that I met through that association. This is probably in 1999, 2000. Uh, And when he first got on the phone, I was kind of like starstruck, like, I can't believe I'm talking to George Lynch. Like,
Right.
this is the
Right.
guy that I grew up, reading all the guitar magazines and playing his music and trying to learn his solos and all that. Um, so back in the day, um, we talked for about 10 minutes about, hard drive stuff. And then we just started talking about music, and we talked almost another hour on that. And then we became friends that way.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
So I did a signature version of our Time Machine boost because I kind of threw it out to him when I made it, a couple years later. And he's like, "Oh, this is cool. Let's do a version of the of the Time Machine boost and do some tweaks and make it a George Lynch version." I said, "Yeah, cool, no problem." So we did that. Fast forward all these years later with the first hot mod, same thing. I was like, "Hey, George, check this out. Throw it in your Marshalls and see what you think." And same kind of thing. He's like, "Oh, this is really cool, but maybe we can do one that's got some other tweaks to it." So I made a couple different prototypes. One that had some switches, and then another that had a gain pot, which is the first time doing that. And he really dug that. And then we went back and forth with some other changes. He wanted a version that had a little bit more bass boost
Okay.
on the deep switch than the hot mod did, but he loved the variable gain, so that became his version, and that was right around 2020 that we did the first. We called it the Lynch Mod instead of kind of a take on of Lynch Mob
Right, right.
with the B, and so that was the first version. So during COVID, I was sitting there hand wiring these things in the evening and selling the Lynch mods, um, which was a lot of fun and a lot of work. But it was nice because as the world was shut down, I was working from home on my day job, and in the evening, just sitting there with my soldering iron, soldering away. And it was nice to be able to keep busy and have interactions with people on the internet and communicate, and because it was otherwise a pretty dark time and scary time, as we all know too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, when was the first time you then met George face to face?
Oh, that was back in the day with the Time Machine boost times,
Oh, okay.
because when we
All the way
came
back then.
out with the George Lynch version, um he was at the Keeley booth, because Keeley was involved in the final manufacturing of those pedals.
Yeah,
And so we had a booth set up there, and George came and spent time with us there. Um, and then he would do some shows in the Bay Area, and I would come out and spend time with him and all that. So I first met him officially. It was around the 2001 time frame, but
that's very that's
great
very
guy,
cool.
and very very introverted. Like if you get him to talk on one of these shows or whatever, he's very funny, and he's got this kind of really witty sense of humor, um, which is great. But he's naturally very introverted and isn't that kind of like David Lee Roth character, right? Where you go out there and hey, you know.
Right.
Um,
Well, not everybody is.
no, no, and but so I'm kind of that way as well, where I tend to be a little bit more. It's funny because my job is in communications, and I'm writing press releases, I'm doing, pitches, doing all this kind of thing. But my day job is, tech comms, and but I'm naturally probably more of an introverted kind of guy either. But I know how to interact and do all the stuff externally, but it naturally doesn't come to me easily as it would with for someone else, right? It's kind of like I'm in my own world in space.
Yeah, I think I think for anybody, I mean, I've talked about like performance anxieties, getting
Yeah,
up on stage here on the channel, and I just think from any and every all walks of life, that's a tough thing to do, regardless of who you are.
yeah,
And not
and
everybody can do it, and it takes a lot of nerve to get up there, whether you're doing a presentation for an office meeting or you're acting out a scene in front of your peers in an acting class or you're performing live at a gig. It's like it takes a lot of nerve to like get up in front of people and be vulnerable and put yourself out there like that. And I think people don't understand that oftentimes.
Yeah, I think it's spot on for sure. And I'll share a little story of kind of my background and kind of what it's so funny that I ended up going into comms. I I did theater in high school and I was good with that. And I've done performances and um, I think I'm pretty common with performing where I think a lot of people have that performance anxiety before they get on stage, but once they get on, they're in it and it's okay, and
Yeah,
they go with the flow and all is good. Um, there was a point when I started college that I started really feeling a lot of anxiety, not with performing, but in any class that I had to take in college. If I found out that I'd have to get up and do a presentation or speak in any sort of form,
right.
I would drop the class and look for another class that I didn't have to do that. That's how bad it was getting. Now
Wow.
to graduate college, university system when you're at, California State, um, you had to take public speaking. That was a
Really
requirement.
interesting.
And so guess who waited until the very last semester
Oh,
before
I know.
graduating?
I,
Yeah, that was me. I was absolutely terrified to take that class. When I took the class, the teacher was so good. The first thing that he said was, this is a universal issue. You're not alone in this. Everybody
exactly.
experiences this kind of anxiety. So the first thing that you got to know that you're not alone. And then it was taking baby steps. Like, right, it wasn't just go out and do a presentation and I'm going to critique. It was, we're going to do a very short group presentation. And it was like, we'd all have a little part to talk, and then it was like the next person that would talk and we would stay in our seats and do this. And then it was like, now we're going to do a presentation where it's like a group of 3 and we're going to get to the front of the class. And then it was, okay, now you're going to do your own presentation, but it's going to be you're going to be reading, you're not going to be presenting. And then after that, it was a very baby steps kind of way of doing this.
Right.
um, to where we finally got to the point of doing a presentation of 15 minutes, whatever it was, without notes or having notes that we could reference. I don't even recall. Um, but it was a wonderful, wonderful thing to get over the fear of, there's a book called Feel the Fear, but Do It Anyway. And
Right.
that's really the philosophy that I go by now with anything that I do. I aced that class. I really got in. I mean, I had an A. I was so appreciative of it because it doesn't feel good to be scared and just living and like, and it's like I take that approach. I think that that particular class has helped me throughout my life in other things. Because look at it with, okay, making a pedal. There are people that could be like, well, if I do this pedal and it's not successful, then I'm like, then I don't make any money or whatever. And, what if people don't like it or all this kind of stuff? It's like, no, do it for you. If you want it, if you believe in it, and this is something that you want for yourself, maybe other people enjoy it, maybe not. That's okay because
Right.
you're creating something that you want. And that was my approach with the pedal. Remember, I talked about that first. It's like I wanted to create something that had 2 boosts on it that would had its own unique flavor, and it was something for me. And
Right.
I think I could put it out there. I think other people will enjoy it, and great if they do, and if they don't, it's okay.
Right. That's. I mean, that was the same. I had my amp when I went into business. When I approached Victoria, it was the same deal. Like I wanted this thing to be for me because I didn't have it to record my record, but this is the amp that I really needed to record my record.
Yeah,
So, you know, Victoria helped me realize my dream, and then we got it out to everybody,
that's
and
right.
it was met with success, and that was great. I mean, like Dude, I got to show this thing to Warren Haynes personally.
Yeah,
Like, how cool is that?
yeah,
I got to be his amp bitch for a little bit.
yeah. No, it's super fun, and I got to tell you, I mean, there's the rock star aspect, which is just mind blowing, right?
Yeah, yeah,
When you get
yeah.
an email from whoever, we've got a laundry list of people that have used the mods or whatnot, and it's just like, wow, this person is reaching out to me, interested. And it's them personally. A lot of times, sometimes it's through their guitar tech, right, that
Right.
reaches out. But
Sure.
still, it's pretty cool because they still hear about
Absolutely.
it from, I think the first major star was Aerosmith, Brad Whitford.
Oh,
And it was
cool.
his guitar tech that reached out to me. He's,
Yeah.
hey, Brad, heard about your Time Machine Boost pedal. He's really interested in checking one out. And I was like, "Hey, that's awesome. I love Aerosmith." Right? Send him a pedal, and he ended up using it on that tour in that time. But the cool thing wasn't just that he was using it, it was when I got the invitation to be actually um, go to their show that they were playing local in Shoreline Amphitheater here in Mountain View and watch Aerosmith. Now, I got to watch them from the side of the stage, kinda looking out to the crowd, so it was like, wow, this is what it would be like if I was the
Yeah.
rock star playing in front of however many that place holds. Um, but prior to the show, I got to meet and chat with Brad and others on the team, and it was just so fun. And we didn't chat about pedals and gear. Um, we did a little bit, but I was interested because he had SS badges, super sport badges on his Marshall cabs. And I was like, oh, those are like Chevy Super Sport. So we just started talking cars because I love old classic
Right. Oh,
cars of
yeah.
all
That's right. You're a
kinds.
car guy. Right.
And so here it was talking to, the guy from Aerosmith chatting about cars, and basically every dream car that I had, he had owned or still owns. And so, it's fun. And again, it's about the human connection and getting to know people. And that's been the most satisfying thing about all of this is, getting to know you and others and the friendships that we make throughout the time. I mean, we've got limited time here on earth, and it's money is good and a successful business is good, but friendships and connection, that's what the human experience is all about in my book.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. Dude, that's too cool, man. Congratulations on all your success. That's awesome, David.
oh, thank you. And you as well. I remember the thing with the amp, and I remember your business and selling all the gear, and it was a really good time.
Yeah,
Really good
it's
time.
it was a good time. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I got to do it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
All righty. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you very much for being on our show,
Of course.
and
Yeah,
David, just tell everybody where they can find you, your YouTube channel, and your Instagram, and whatever else.
yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. No, and thanks everyone for joining and listening, and thanks for having me, Larry. First of all, it was fun. It's nice to be able to do something different and come on and just chat informally and talk about all things. Um, so the website is www.legendarytones.com, and now I just aged myself by saying www. Who does that anymore? Uh,
We do. Middle-aged
uh,
white guys.
yeah, legendarytones.com, which started out as a blog site, so it still has that format of a blog. And it wasn't about selling anything. So there's a lot of good articles on there that are still kind of evergreen about tone tips and interviews with artists and things like that. So check that out. But I definitely do have the info on the mods themselves as well. Um, and I've got a dealer network that they could check out. My Instagram is my personal Instagram, but I talk about all things, whether it's music, um, cars, family, cats, animals, pets. It's Szabados 7. So my last name, S is in Sam, Zabados. 7 is the thing there. And then I've got my Facebook pages, right, for Legendary Tones or my regular, David Szabados Facebook. So, but yeah, happy to connect with folks and chat anytime. Um, I take the philosophy of it's about human connection and conversations. And so if anyone has questions or want to reach out about anything, I'm still passionate about music and gear. So I love chatting about that too. Don't feel like you're ever like wasting my time or things like that. um, I'm still learning also, and I love to learn from folks out there. So anything that they want to share, um, always happy to connect with people.
That's very cool. David, thank you so much for being here, my friend. It was
Yeah, thanks for
awesome.
having me there.
You're very welcome. Have a good rest of your Saturday. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, take care. Thanks,
You
everyone.
too.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. All right, guys, I'm gonna hang up and I'll start a new solo one, all right? Bye bye.